I was talking about this with Dan the other day. I think we're reaching the point in the life of the podcast where we're realizing that, oh, this is not a great episode. We can just kind of just talk about
it. This episode reminded me of a comment I saw on one of our TikToks where they said how they love how Star Trek can be like really serious things like, the Measure of a Man one day, and then pivot it immediately to like community theater. Specifically that term community theater.
Oh my God, community theater is so accurate.
Yeah, like this is what this episode embodies that comment to me.
Like the thing that made the community theater thing like hit home is, the I'm skipping ahead slightly, but the part where they go into the, what's it called, the revolving door, and then the effect works by him to just walking in then walking out,
it's good.
It's adorable.
They're acting they're acting real good.
Oh, it's so adorable. I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. But anyway, hey everybody, welcome to Newbie Star Trek.
That's what the podcast is called.
Is true. If you're new, welcome. So the whole point of the podcast is that Ricardo. Hey, Ricardo.
Why, hello.
Hi, Ricardo. This is Ricardo's first time through the world of Star Trek. I'm Marvin, by the way.
Today.
That's the other guy's Dan. Hi, Dan.
Yeah, it's me. Hi.
Oh.
It's me, Dan.
No, that's not Dan. This is Dan.
No, this is Dan. We're all variants of Dan.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it. It's just me common now. I'm back, guys, for my tour.
Sounds just like him, dude. That's scary, dude.
I met Common. That's just how he sounds.
Yeah.
This is the worst bit I've ever clung on to, and I love it.
By clung, you mean brought it up twice.
It's fine, because I brought it up outside of the podcast as well.
It's true.
I also bring it up with myself from time to time.
You're just sitting alone in your car. And you go, there's Common.
Shut up. You're gonna embarrass Common.
We watched the Royale this week. Not the Royale with cheese, just the Royale. I'm sure no one's ever made that joke.
Yeah.
No one. It's Marvin's joke. No one copy it. Donut steal.
Patent pending. This is about people finding a casino on an ammonia planet. And that's it. This is the whole episode.
It's a planet that's hilariously described as so like impossibly uninhabitable.
Yeah. That Geordi goes, whew. Oh my God.
He just calls it nasty.
That's nasty.
He just calls the atmosphere nasty.
I want nothing to do with it.
But he describes it as like, I don't know if I should just wait till we get in there, but he just says it's negative 291 degrees Celsius. And that's lower than absolute zero. That's impossible.
Listen. In the future, they found a way to make it even colder.
Okay.
It's like colder than antimatter. It's so cold.
Yeah, they found a different limit to entropy.
This episode aired in 1989, March 22nd. Dan.
Wait, not the 27th?
Oh, sorry, 27th. My 27th. My mouth is very good at speaking.
What's
Dan,
in the box?
Could you tell us what happened around that time?
Well, first we have to go around the sun. Then we're in the time. Hi, we're in the time now. March 21st, Phantasy Star 2 released on the Mega Drive, which is known to us as a Genesis in the US. But that was in Japan, Phantasy Star 2. It was a big entry in the franchise because it was popular enough to spawn a few remakes down the line. In fact, it even had a remake on PS2.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a well-beloved game too many. Not me, though. Top of the box office was Fletch Lives, a sequel to the movie Fletch from 4 years earlier, starring one Chevy Chase as Fletch, who happens to be a...
What's Fletch? I've never heard of Fletch.
He's a reporter for the LA Times who keeps getting wrapped up in like crazy goings on. Like in the first movie, he was offered a huge sum of money by a millionaire to kill that same millionaire, and then it turns into this big conspiracy thing. But this sequel, Fletch Lives, was not as well received as the first. Yeah, not a critical darling, but it was top of the box office because people liked the first film. Last bit of news I have, because it was a bit of a slow week at that time. An Exxon tanker called the Valdez spilled 10.8 million gallons of crude oil off the southern coast of Alaska, specifically in the Prince William Sound. And this was news to me because I've never heard that term before, but it's a geographical term for a large ocean inlet, which is deeper than a bight, but wider than a fjord. And you wouldn't believe how quickly that rabbit hole of geographical terms just plummets down, because there's like Scandinavian disputes over what counts as a fjord. Because even though they made up the term, English took it off and ran off with it, right? So now we call things fjords that they don't, and vice versa. It's crazy. Anyway, big oil spill. Nothing's changed since then. It still happens, except we are now all much closer to climate oblivion. Thank you.
Was it the first one?
It couldn't be the first one.
Like the first really bad one? I don't know.
It probably set a record at its time. I wouldn't be surprised about that.
You know, the funny part is, I'm just looking at it now. It is only the 54th largest spill in history.
Never mind.
It's like not even that big compared to how big they get now.
It's awful, man.
Now they just covered the entire Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, that's fine. The water was too bright. It needed to be darkened a bit.
Yeah. You know, speaking of sound, there's actually a famous, not that famous, but there's a pretty well-known computer building company called Puget. It was originally called Puget Sound, and they had to change it to Puget because everyone kept saying, "What the fuck? Why aren't you guys selling speakers?" And it's because they live near Puget Sound. That's why they were called Puget Sound Systems.
Yeah, there you go.
We don't want to pause anymore.
Anyway, I think we're back from around the sun.
Oh, and we're back in
back
casino.
To Earth?
Back
to Royale.
Back where it snapped back to reality.
Yeah.
Or did we leave the revolving doors and then come back right back?
In a way, we could have just swooped right back in to the Royale. Well, listen, it's too late to have a good segue now, but this week we're sponsored again by ExpressVPN.
Hey, ExpressVPN.
I'm not gonna give you guys your spiel again, but basically, it's a good VPN. It's pretty good. It's got pretty good security, but it's also fast, and that's why it's worth it.
It's also easy. It's something that we haven't really talked that much about before, but I can attest to how easy it is to just install whatever app or program they give you. And if you just click the button, you see it turns green and bam, you're already VPN'd up.
Would you say the VPN is ExpressVPN is an ease to use?
Why, yes, I would, Kent.
An ease.
We are giving free advertising to other companies in an actual sponsored read. No, we're not. We're just saying words.
We're just saying that ExpressVPN, one of the best VPNs in the world, is an ease to use, and you can use it at your leisure. Look, if you want to know the details of what you can use as VPN for, you're saying this is my first time listening. I don't know what's going on. VPN Express. What is this nonsense? Hey, Grandpa, go over to the last episode and listen to that one, and it'll explain to you all the things you need to know. Look, if you want to get a little extra content off of Netflix and
Disney Plus, especially, you said, right?
If you want to get that stuff, just go over to the last episode. I'll explain everything, dude. Just log into the VPN, say you're in London, boom, you get Star.
Yeah. You also want to make sure that your ISP isn't like telling everybody what you're looking at, because they do that now.
Yeah. You can't
like say you want to discreetly order yourself some marijuana products.
Yeah. Hypothetically, let's just say that.
Yes. You probably
though it's fine. You can order that.
I know, but let's say you don't want to be then spammed afterwards. Like, oh, you like weed? Would you like this weed? Would you like that weed? Because that's what they do now. Dude,
you don't want your internet service provider knowing what kind of porn you fucking search.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you, dude. That's how the goddamn communists come and get you, dude. So put on ExpressVPN. Don't let them get you.
So we're not going to give you the same spiel, but we gave you something else.
Yeah. Welcome, dude.
Also, if you want to make it like really easy, ExpressVPN does have a way to actually install it on your router. So that means every device that's connected to it, regardless of how many devices you have, suddenly it's all going through the VPN. And the VPN is really reliable. I honestly have it on my phone like literally 24/7 because
you watch porn 24/7. As people know.
Listen.
Can't get any work done.
Listen. Has to stay ready. Has to stay ready. 5 tabs.
I have to rapid switch.
And look, if you want to get ExpressVPN and have a fun time like us, where could people? What are the codes?
Yeah, you just go.
What are the cheat codes?
Yeah, you just go. The cheat code is just go to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek, and if you sign up for a year, you get an extra 3 months for free, and that makes every month only $6.67. That's actually a really good deal.
And it's not even a number that will make people, uncomfortable for no good reason.
It's one off.
Yeah. It's not 666. It's not 669. It is just the right number, dude.
Yeah, that's expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to Tasha because I think she has a question.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
We should have had a recorder on where she was like dead, like beyond the grave. Like,
Ricardo. We can just add more reverb to this one and slow it down.
Ricardo, you tell us.
Right, and then it gets really
flanger. You tell us this episode.
Make her sound like Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Like all of our impressions.
Would you save me? I would save me. It tells us what happened in the episode, or it gets hose. All right. So this episode was brought to you by Extreme Cold. Extreme Cold. So again, they're looking for something or some bullshit, dude. This episode was the bad one. Look, it wasn't bad. It just was like there's been 2 back-to-back like filler episodes. We didn't. We don't need these.
I mean, I feel like you hit a really high with when season 2 is a very rocky episode or season because you hit a really high with Memory of a Man and a lot of
Memory
Measure of a Man.
Yeah,
and
Memories of a Man.
And a lot of decent episodes lead up to it, Mm-hmm. And then right after Measure of a Man, you just get garbage.
Yeah, dude.
I think this is a rare moment where I like an episode like not substantially more, but I'm not as critical of this episode as you guys seem to be.
Oh, cool. Okay, see, I like that. I like.
It's because it's so dumb. I have to stop caring.
Yeah.
Well, I actually like that it's dumb. I just wish it was faster paced and more things happen.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I almost
not a lot of things happen.
I appreciate that they're even willing to say within the narrative, this is based on a terrible book.
Yeah.
I mean, they get kind of meta with it because like it starts falling into that trap of like writing about writing.
Yeah. And I kind of wish they had like this is a rare opportunity where I think they should have had a B plot. But the B plot should have been like, Picard and team, like, meet the aliens, right? And then the aliens explain why this happened. And then they have to relay that back to Riker or something, right? Instead of Picard kind of just sitting there going like, what's going on? Why won't he talk to me?
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole episode with Picard.
Yeah. And he turns to Deanna and is like, is he mad at me?
But,
Too bad it wasn't a good book. It wasn't like something Stephen King. It wasn't like It. It's like, hello, I'm Pennywise. They're in like a Pennywise haunted house the whole episode.
Or they're in the hotel, like the Shining Hotel.
Yeah. Or they're in like Caligula, and it's just
I just realized that this is the second episode that can just be described as a Wishbone episode.
Oh yeah. It's fairly.
They're literally living the book.
But the funny part is that the Wishbone stuff is almost like happening on the side while they're doing their stuff. And they're kind of just like, oh shit, there's a story happening here. while they're trying to
So there's some weird shit going on, dude, in this episode. I like the gambling part of it and stuff, but it's oh boy, this is a fucking tough one. So I have one question: is the thing he's drinking in the beginning of the episode, is it Earl Grey or is it coffee?
I think it's Earl Grey. It seems to be Earl Grey.
Oh, okay.
With nothing in it though. Doesn't look like he put any milk in it.
Yeah, which is unusual for British men.
Yeah,
maybe that's how he takes
lumps.
He is French actually.
True.
So maybe that's how the
I don't
French
know how the French take their Earl Greys.
The French. They drink it's a California wine.
It's actually just mixed with red wine.
French.
That's why it's so
French.
dark and
the French. Okay. So this episode starts off and they run by a planet and it's just stinky as shit, dude. And it's cold as shit, dude. and god damn it. What's it?
I like the idea of Geordi being like, Captain, this planet's very stinky.
Yeah, we can't go in there. Like, but is the air breathable? Yeah, it's just stinky as shit.
We shouldn't go down there.
He's holding his nose as he talks.
He's like, ugh, and he shakes.
I know. He even has a scene where he goes, ugh. Why?
He gets the chills. So it's very cold. This place. It could be stinky. We don't know. Just so cold that we wouldn't want to be down there.
Right.
But they're like, hey, and then Riker goes to tell Picard what's going on, and he's like, hey, this shit's going on. And then Picard's drinking his tea and he's talking about this thing that people have been trying to solve forever, which is an old French like mathematician, right? Or math teacher. He had written down an equation or something that could never be solved or something.
It's Fermat's last theorem.
Is it a real thing?
It is a real thing. However,
it's real.
Yeah, it is real, and I have a bit of background information for that.
Ooh.
Because
around the sun, dude. We're back on it.
This episode is now somewhat obsolete because
was it solved?
They did discover a proof for it in like the 90s. And that was 6 years after the airing of the episode.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah, proof was discovered for Fermat's last theorem. However, this ended up getting retroactively kind of corrected in a later episode of DS9, which addressed this by basically moving the goalposts a bit. They said like, well, no one has yet to come up with a proof using the mathematics of its time. Because they were talking about, like, you know, they use 90s math to provide a proof for it. Or that's the implication.
90s math.
Yeah, so DS9 did its best to massage the history out again. But
yeah, they're trying to lampshade it as hard as they can.
Yeah, but as of the writing of this episode, it was real and was yet to be solved.
Oh,
okay,
interesting.
So it's this French dude, and he was talking about a cat being there and then being dead or something like that. I don't know. Am I thinking of something else?
The fur cat.
Yeah. So they have a fun time. They have a fun laugh, and we talk basically about how Picard knows
what a nerd.
It's something fun he does. Yeah, he's like, oh, and the thing is, he's drinking tea, and he's like looking at the screen, but he's not like jotting down like, well,
no, he's just staring at it.
Yeah, he's just like,
He just likes to learn of the mystery. He
I'm
doesn't
just
want
imagining him. He's going like, does 99 work?
Yeah.
No.
He's like,
does 100 work?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But never actually doing any fucking math, dude.
I mean, this is also the setup of a pretty clumsy bookend for the end of the episode.
Yeah, it's very clumsy. Oh,
yeah, they just this almost reminds me of that Shaquille O'Neal interview where he says, "Unlike the Pythagorean theorem, can't be solved." But like, it's basically saying that much about it. It's like, I just came with this like random thing that I don't understand and we can't understand. Yeah. And by the end of this episode, we're not going to be able to understand it, so I'm just going to reference it again.
Yeah. And so Riker goes over there to talk to the captain, and he's like, "Hey, my dude, there's something going on. There's like some debris out there. Can we beam a piece of that debris in here and see what's up, dude? It's cold as shit out there." Geordi keeps fucking getting chills. And he's like, yeah, beam it up, Scotty. But he doesn't call him Scotty. He calls him my number one. He's like, you're my number one man. And then he shoots him. It's weird.
Yes,
just like Batman. Bob, you're my number one man. And then so they beam up the stupid debris, and Miles O'Brien like helps him like turn it around, and it reveals that it says NASA and it's got an American flag, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" Doo, doo, doo.
By the way, did everyone notice how the American flag's a little off?
Yeah, it only has 52 stars.
Well, not only, it has more stars than we got.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
yeah.
And also more stripes.
Well, I meant like in the future, they ended up getting more stars.
So how many stars are on like the?
Oh, I forget. But that's how Riker dates it specifically, because he's like, oh, it's only 52 stars. That means it has. It was made between this time and this time.
Oh, so it was before they recognized Missouri too.
Yeah, or Puerto Rico.
Or
Puerto
Rico might have been on there already because we have 50 now, right?
Yeah, 50 now. So Puerto Rico might have been the second, the first, 51st, and then I don't know. North and South California seems inevitable, so that'll eventually.
Right?
Is DC a star?
Yeah, maybe that'll be a state by then too.
Maybe a DC.
There's already movement right now. So
I remembered that. So
North and South Florida too. They're very different. So you might as well split those guys up.
And Russia's just so close to Alaska, it might as well become a state eventually.
Yeah, you might as well also make 4 Alaskas. Just split it up in 4.
I would say you could make like Florida and then goddamn fucking cat. Sorry, my cat was making noises back here.
You're gonna make your cat a state, yeah.
They should make like Florida state and then Disney World a separate state. It's so large, it's so big that it should just be its own like state.
It's also the only reason anyone goes to Orlando, so might as well. And then Disney will finally own the piece of like a state that has always wanted to.
Yeah, I think it should actually just be recognized as its own sovereign kingdom.
Oh yeah,
the
Magic
Disney Kingdom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then you have to make Universal Studios like their own like nation state as well.
I thought you were about to say no, and then Universal Studios needs to be its own universe.
Yeah. So then they bring it up, and it's like, oh, what the hell's going on, dude? There's some sketchy shit happening. And then they talk about like the origins of the thing, and it's got 52 stars, and they try to date it, and they're like, oh, it looks like. So basically, they figure out that it looks like it was destroyed by modern weapons, but it's an old vessel. So they're like, what the fuck could have happened, dude? It's kind of sketchy. So later they talk to Geordi, and Geordi's like, hey, I found this weird like it's not like a build. It's like it is kind of like a building, like a thing within the cold ass planet. It's kind of
some sort of structure.
Yeah, it's a structure. That's the word I was looking for. Oh my god. I thought it was a fucking cat again. I was like, this cat's eating paper and shit. So they're like, hey, there's a structure within this cold ass planet, and we can it seems like there's something there. It's like, and my thing is like, if I'm on the ship, I'm like, no, I've seen the thing. We're not going to fucking. It's a cold ass planet, and there's a structure. Yeah, we're not doing that, dude. Fuck that. Or let's send the robot to do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
We're not going. But no, they don't give a shit. They're like, hey, we're here to explore, and we'll die fucking doing it.
I just realized something else about this, like the beginning of this episode. The reason why they're even checking out this ammonia planet is because the Klingons said, "Hey, we know some stuff floating around it."
Yeah. They're just taking their Klingons' word for it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to go check out the weird crap we found around the planet? Whatever, bye.
Weird. Yeah. And it's like, why don't you check it out, you idiots?
Yeah. And as always, they send, the most expendable members of their team.
Yeah.
The first and second in command. No, the second and third in command.
Yeah.
One of whom is an irreplaceable, one-of-a-kind robot.
Yeah.
And also the strongest guy in the ship, Worf.
Yeah.
And, this is...
Yeah. Well, I think the reason they send Worf is because they're like, well, he's not going to try to fuck anything, Maybe. Like, and he'll prevent Riker from fucking everything he sees. So, and then Data too. Data's a wild card, dude. If he sees Tasha's fucking ghost, he's going to try to fuck it. So
he just goes buck wild and goes, oh my god,
he's like, oh my god, oh fuck, dude, it's fucking Tasha. So anyway, they get zoomed. they have a Zoom conference call.
Yeah,
and they get zoomed down to the planet.
Yeah,
and it's a weird, like it's it's like a weird black hole.
It is a black void.
It's a very cheap effect.
Yeah, it's a very inexpensive set.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think one of the production designers in an interview was just bragging at how much they were able to accomplish with almost nothing. There, it's like, yo, we did what we could, man. We turned like one little stage into an entire casino, man.
That's true. That's
we
actually
put it together, man.
That's quite an accomplishment to build a whole casino set just for one episode.
Yeah,
one very inconsequential episode. Like you would think this is one of those things where they wrote it because they said, well, there's going to be a casino set soon for another thing for CBS.
Can for the movie Casino later on.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe there was some other show one.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally how the original series used to do things. They're like, oh, there's a Western next door. We should just shoot a Western episode,
all right.
Yeah,
so then they're like trying to look for like something because they can't figure out where they are, and they see a little revolving door, old timey, and they're like, "Oh, that looks weird." Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, it looks weird. We should just go check it out," because nothing sketchy ever happens when there's like a giant void. Right in. Yeah, and so they're like, "We're
all three of us, not just one,
or not like, hey, Worf, you go in. I'm gonna wait out here. If it's safe, just fucking radio me." Yeah. No, they're like back to back, boom, 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 boom. No, they throw caution to the wind, and they get in there, and
fucking Data almost hits his face on the revolving door as he walks in, because Brent Spiner is glancing at his tricorder the whole time.
Yeah, and then immediately they lose the Enterprise loses contact with them, like they can't reach them anymore, and they're like, Picard's like, oh, beam him up, and Geordi's like, I can't, there's nothing there. And he's like, what do you mean there's nothing there? And also, so this is really stupid. You think that they would be like, well, should we wait? How long should we wait and then send somebody down? But they never sent anybody else down.
Yeah, not even one more person just to check out and see, like, can you see them or see what they saw?
No.
Yeah. I also know, like, this episode also made me realize that communicators are very bad at, like, giving you updates about their stat or their status. Mm-hmm. Like, you never know when a communicator is not working anymore. They just say, hey, to bridge, come in.
Yeah. They have to wait for them to respond. They're just walkie talkies.
Yeah. Like the communicators never say, never even chirp, like, oh, it's not working. It gives you the chirp when it doesn't work, dude. Tweet.
Like any Bluetooth headset worth its salt will say, like, connection lost.
Yeah. Can I connect to device?
Yeah.
But no, these are pieces of shit technology, dude. It's probably fucking Samsung devices.
Hey. I'm using a Note 10 Plus right here, you motherfucker.
Ricardo has insulted your Korean honor, Marvin.
To be fair, I had to buy this phone on an emergency because my phone died while on a trip.
Was it a Samsung phone that died?
No, it was a Google Pixel. Actually,
okay.
It just died in the middle of nowhere, and then it sucked because so I was like, I'll just get this. And this is the heaviest fucking phone I've ever had in my life. It's so heavy. I think I do all the time is lay in bed and watch stuff. And I'm always just like, oh god, it's so heavy compared to my old Pixel.
Has it ever slipped and hit your face? I've done that.
Oh yeah,
I've done that. We're like, oh my lip.
Dozens of times.
I was about to ask, are you working out?
He's just lifting the fucking phone.
Getting some results.
So they have Samsung communicators, and they're faulty as shit, dude. And so Samsung's never going to sponsor us now.
My dad would get so mad.
OnePlus. This episode brought to you by OnePlus. All right, so they get in there, and it turns out it's a casino, and instead of being like, whoa, well, we can't communicate, let's get the fuck out of there, dude, let's get out. Like, Riker's like, hold on, there's women here, we could fuck, dude. Let's check it out for science.
Wait, we haven't fucked anyone yet.
Yeah,
we have to know if they are fuckable.
Yeah, if they're not, then we get beam up. But if they are, we're staying here a while.
Yeah.
And so they go to the front desk, and there's a clerk there, and it's another character actor that you would recognize. I
think famously he's in Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I don't recognize.
Yeah, he's. Is there a Mr. Gump?
Yeah,
Ms. Gump. That's him.
Oh, he's the gross.
Yeah, he's the gross principal.
Oh.
He always plays like sketchy dudes.
Yeah, because he has like this smarmy air about him.
And then that's the one where you get the really awkward scene where Forrest goes,
yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That was him.
All right, that's him.
Yeah.
All right.
Old Sam Anderson. He's been in so many things that you recognize him from. Like he's like in a bunch of horror movies. He's a great character actor. Like
he's good at that like head tilted down, eyes up look.
Yeah.
He does that all the time.
The slightly like uncomfortable looking at person.
Yeah. He also played. Remember he played Bernard on Lost.
Oh, I didn't watch any Lost at all.
Oh god.
I also narrowly avoided Lost
because I don't waste my time.
Oh my god, dude.
I stayed away from it until everyone decided to hate it at the end. I was like, oh boy.
And I was
now I don't have to watch it. I don't have to watch it anymore. It was on my list.
I was right to think this looks stupid.
I get so many hours of my life back.
I can't get him back. So he played Bernard, and he's like, "Oh, you gentlemen, I say, you you are the foreigners, I guess." And he gives him hotel keys and chips. He's like, "Oh, here he goes to play. Here you go." And then so they're like, "Oh, it's interesting." But at the same time, when he's addressing them as customers, the concierge, this bellboy comes up and he's like, "Oh, where's that fucking fuck? Where's Linda or whatever her name is? Rita. Yeah, where's Rita? I can't wait to fuck her." And he's like, "Hey, Tim, whatever his name is, Bill's looking for you. He's not happy. Curly Sue or Curly Bill. You don't fuck with him, dude. He's a fucking mad dog." And he's like, "I don't give a shit, dude. He's like, I'm
not afraid of McDonald's."
Yeah, yeah, dude.
It's Mickey D.
Yeah,
the character's name is literally Mickey D.
A quarter pounder can't hurt me. Yeah,
this is a quarter pounder king. That's how McDonald's started. So
the Royale. The name of the episode is the Royale.
Yeah,
exactly,
see,
dude.
Now you're understanding why this episode's good.
It's all metaphor for McDonald's.
Layers, just like the layers of a Big Mac.
Oof. Now I want a Big Mac, dude. This episode's sponsored by Big Macs. I wish, dude. I could go for a Big Mac right now. So they start walking around and they start scanning people, and they're like, "There's none of these people are alive." And my first thought is like, "Oh, they're in the giant holodeck." That's what I thought at first.
I mean, the episode does feel like a holodeck episode without the holodeck.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
It feels a lot like they're just being like, can we just write something crazy that's not about space?
And it's also got like little shades of like the season 1 finale even. Because you got yet another like bombastic Southern type who takes a shining to Data. They always love Data. Why do they always fucking love Data?
Everybody loves Data because Data is so nice and receptive.
Yeah,
and good at fucking and gambling.
Yeah. So
man.
They scan everybody, and there's no one. There's no human. There's no one with DNA, basically. And so they're like, "Oh fuck, dude, there's no one here alive." And they're like, "Well, then who are all these people?" They're like, "I don't know, dude." And then this Texan guy comes in, and he's like, I say, "Excuse me, sir." And he's like, and he like goes and he like kind of talks to them, and he takes a liking to Data. And he's like, I think
his name is actually Texas in the credits.
Yeah, it's just Texas.
Yeah.
He's literally Texas.
Yeah.
And he goes and starts gambling, and then back on the Enterprise. This is a funny fucking thing I noticed, dude. And very frustrating. Picard rolls up to Geordi and he's like, "Hey, what have you guys found?" And fucking Wesley is all up in fucking Geordi's business, dude.
Yeah,
all up. And you see behind them, all the consoles are open, dude. All of them are open, dude. Like, fucking Wesley couldn't have jumped into the just next one over. Just next one over. Look at that screen, dude. You can pull up anything from any screen, dude.
No, all the urinals are open, but Wesley needs to go up to the one right next to you.
Yeah, dude. He's that type of dude.
God damn it, Wesley.
Damn it, dude. And he's even like touching buttons, and I'm like, God damn, if I was Geordi, I'd be like, fuck you, don't touch my goddamn console with your crazy ass fingers, dude.
Man, back when I was working in office, and someone was like, "Oh, let me just point out to you where I want to change that," and they touched the screen. I'm like, "Stop it! Stop touching the screen. These screens aren't supposed to be touched. With your greasy mitts."
Hate when people do that. Hate it, dude. I hate like, so if I'm like eating chips or something and I'm playing video games or like I'm watching a video on the computer, I literally have hand sanitizer that I use before touching the keyboard or the mouse, and then I hand sanitize and then I wipe with a napkin and then I touch it because I hate nothing. I'm really not bad about these things. Like, I have a messy house and it's fine, but nothing bugs the shit out of me than touching a remote and it being kind of greasy.
That's really
absolutely.
Even my kid, like I first of all, I bought him his own Xbox controller because I'm like, you can't be touching my controller with your greasy little fingers. Second of all, so as soon as I got a new Xbox, I was like, we're getting another fucking controller. You can't be handling my controller. And then I taught him to wash his hands. So like if he's eating a snack like in the middle of the day, he knows like, oh, I got to go wash my hands.
Well, that's just good hygiene. Yeah.
That's parenting. Goddammit.
Yeah, that's being a good parent.
but even when he's already washed his hands, or like he's in the middle of eating a snack, he'll literally stop, go wash his hands to like change it to the next game or the next video or whatever. Like he's, and I'm like, yes,
I think that's
good
great.
parenting.
I think that's great.
Good parenting.
Yeah. But anyway, this kid doesn't wash his hands, dude. Wesley, you think he's washing his hands, dude? He's licking his fucking Cheeto fingers and shit, dude, and touching the screens and the console.
He's the type of guy who goes to the bathroom and jerks off and just wipes it on his pants and then just walks back back out. That's what he does.
He's before we get back to the episode, I am going to interject with like one or two things that I found like good. I do really like how Picard actually questioned whether some other intelligence was causing the interference.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's actually a decent question to ask at this point.
Yeah.
Well, there's a structure, so there's got to be something.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that, like, they've encountered enough goddamn, like, better beings than they...
Yeah.
Who are just fucking with them, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Picard's like, goddamn traveler, he's trying to trap fucking Wesley. But
I also found... Also, notably, he uses Deanna to track Riker's emotional state.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's fascinating to me because like I actually don't know how, if this particular like connection or ability that Deanna has in regards to Riker is brought up again. Like, do they utilize this more?
They should.
I don't know, but Deanna seems like, I don't know what the range of her abilities is.
No, that's why I think it's because she's fucked him.
Well, but I think it's also she I think it might be very large in general because she's done it to like ships that are like quite a bit away, you know, like they can see them, but they're actually like,
to be able to establish some sort of like sensory, like even if they can get on screen and she can listen to them or see them, she seems to be able to evaluate based off of that as well.
But then when it's convenient, she forgets how to do shit.
Yeah. True. Also, when it's convenient, the writers will forget she's in the series. Yeah. And just not have her in the episode.
Yeah.
Or have her doing
her mom.
Yeah, literally. Like she literally visits her mom one episode. To not be here.
I don't know. I just thought it was notable that they were.
I do think it's like the first time her emotion ability is like useful in like a pragmatic sense, in that it's just to track him, make sure he's okay. Yeah, because nothing else can reach him. You know,
imagine if he had
actually
one of those holograms.
Giving Picard information he doesn't already have.
Yeah. Imagine if Riker had fucked one of those holograms, and Picard's like, "Give me Riker's emotional state," and he's like, "Oh God, he's very happy. He's wistful.
Yeah, he's wistful.
He's very happy and wistful in the same sentence."
Is that how you feel when you're having sex? You feel wistful?
I mean, maybe afterward, like, you know, mid-sentence, you know,
well, you also
you have to think,
you think about how she would bring it up to Picard. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't say, "Oh God, I can't." You know, she
maybe like, "Oh, he's feeling ecstatic."
Yeah.
Euphoric, even.
Yeah.
Almost like he's about to come.
That's a word people utilize all the time now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Orgasmic.
Yeah.
People use it to describe food now.
God, I hate it when they do that. I really hate when people are like, "Oh man, these nachos are orgasmically good." No, they are not. I'm sorry.
You are not coming.
No.
Because you ate nachos.
Yeah.
No.
Nor do you need a change of pants. Everyone who talks about springing boners or needing changes of pants because they saw like a trailer or something, fuck off.
No.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
That's my stance.
Especially when you're in fucking Guy Fieri's fucking restaurant eating trash can nachos. Yeah, you can't.
With donkey sauce.
Yeah, donkey sauce. All right. So then Data's like, all right, well, let's all split up and do some recon, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And they split up, and then Data immediately goes to the Texan guy, and the Texan guy puts a hat on him. He's like, all right, you sit next to me, and I'm going to teach you how to play. And then Data's like, scanning, blackjack, 21, beep, boop, beep, boop. And he learns how to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl who's in the table as well, who's real dumb and doesn't know how to play fucking black. It's simple fucking rules. I don't care how dumb you are. It's simple fucking rules. 21.
Yeah.
21. The only weird thing is ace. Ace can be 1 or 11. You fucking choose. Everything else is face value. How hard is that? And she keeps going, should I hit again?
Well, here's the genius of the writing of this episode. She is based on a badly written character.
Yeah.
So they can get away with anything.
It can be as shitty as it wants. It's only true.
So Data keeps fucking hitting, and he fucking reaches 21 and wins. But they leave, and they're trying to figure out a way to get out, and they go out the revolving doors, and they come right back in, so they can't leave. And every time they try to ask somebody for help, they just seem to like either ignore them, or like they win at a casino game and it's really loud, so like they can't get answers from anybody, dude.
Right.
I can't help but wonder how many takes they had of them going through the revolving door, because they have to time it so that each one of them goes through every possible, like, there's no gaps. And it must have been planned to be that way. Like, they need to be really tight about it. And I feel like that's something that actors could miss once or twice. Hilariously.
No, not if they keep going. Like, so if it's like, okay, so there's no pause. They just they just exit and then come back in at the same time.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it's just consecutive. I mean, like the fact that they all each occupy like the next slice, like one after another.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's no gaps between them.
I mean, I feel like they probably didn't. I mean, the first time Brent Spiner tries to walk through, it almost hits his face, and they didn't do another take. So I don't think they did that many takes.
They're like, it's fine, and they're like, well, what do we do? He's like, we'll fix it in post.
No, what you don't see is all the other takes for Brent Spiner fucking ate shit.
Yeah.
That was a bet we did. He did 500 takes, and that was the best one.
My hand. God. So then they're like, we can't get out of here. We're fucking stuck. And then the Worf's like, I got it. We'll fucking shoot our way out. And he tries to use his phaser. Is it a phaser?
Yeah, it's a phaser. Yeah,
phaser.
His fucking space gun to blast his way through the wall, and nothing happens.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
I like to think of them as massage chair remotes.
Yeah.
They do look
and so Geordi is trying to figure out how to communicate with them, and he's like, well, let's fucking switch over to analog or some shit. And he's like, all right,
get him on the CB.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. He's in Morse code and shit.
Like Independence Day.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. They assume the aliens will never figure out Morse code.
Yeah. These people who've invented a technology to cloak themselves and fly at fucking light speed don't know Morse code and they're so stupid. They don't have the mathematical ability to figure out the equations to Morse code. These goddamn idiot fucking aliens.
Also, they have the ability to travel across the galaxy quickly, but takes hours to go from one city to another.
The getting here is fucking easy, dude. But if you want to go to the next town over, that's gonna take you 3 hours, dude. So next in the casino, you have like this guy named Raul or Rodrigo, or I don't know his name, dude. Yeah. But he's really in love with fucking Rita, and he's like, well, if fucking that fucking McDonald's dude comes up, I'm gonna fucking shoot him, dude. I'm gonna fucking handle my business, dude. And you think like, God damn, this is so cheesy, and like, you think as a boss of the hotel casino, I'd be like, dude, you can't have a gun here, you piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're fired, dude.
The moment he brings out the gun, he's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
You're just keeping it in like a desk out in the open.
Yeah, it's like the hotel's desk gun.
That's where we keep the guest fucking valet keys, dude. You have a gun there, dude.
Yeah. You accidentally try to pull over their car with the gun?
Yeah, dude. He pulls a gun, and his boss says nothing. He's like, don't be silly, dude.
His boss just keeps going, Mickey D's still gonna get you.
Yeah, he's gonna get you.
He gonna get you.
So Riker's like, "Can I speak to the manager?" He fucking really goes carrying on him, and and he's like, "The manager's really busy, ma'am."
No,
and
it's
then
funny.
He walks away.
The funniest part is that he says, "Oh, if you have any more questions you'd like answered, please ask the manager." And he says, "Well, then I'd like to speak to the manager." And he goes, "No, the manager is very busy." And he walks away.
No,
but in truth, it's probably because a manager character was never written.
Yeah,
so the character's probably like, "Oh,
see, they thought of everything."
It's so well written,
literally everything. Yeah. It's just airtight, no holes.
The B plot line, which is what's happening on the Enterprise, is fucking shitty. It's fucked.
It's barely a B plot. It's just they just go back and they go, "Can you talk to them yet?" No.
Yeah.
It's just twiddling their thumbs.
One of the lines is like, "Well, let's be ready for when we do."
yeah. And then fucking Wesley goes like, "Oh, these frequencies aren't working anymore." And then Picard goes, "Find new frequencies."
Yeah.
Scene.
Invent them. Invent new frequencies.
That's not very good boss talk. Yeah.
So finally, Data finds. He's like, "Oh, I found some DNA nearby," and I'm thinking, "Oh, you can't." It's a casino, dude. There's probably DNAs all over this fucking wall, dude.
And then they end up in like in one of the hotel rooms, and you're like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh,
it's all over the
UV light."
Yeah.
And
David Carradine's gonna be hanging from the fucking closet.
Yeah.
Fucking,
oh God!
Too soon, dude. I apologize.
God damn it, dude. I was gonna go for Gordon Ramsay Hotel Hell, but you went dark.
Yeah, dude. I went really dark, dude.
Oh boy.
Boy. Listen, but to be fair, if you die in such a funny way, I mean, people are gonna talk about it for years to come.
Yeah,
there's no way.
you know
what? You can't argue that he didn't die doing what he loved.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So
few people get to say that.
Yeah.
In fact, probably no one actually gets to say that.
Also,
but
also the people that die that way, their legacy lives way longer than people that don't. Do you mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Think about Burt Lancaster. How did he die? I don't fucking know, dude. Fucking know. David Carradine died. Oh, he was jacking off and he fucking tried to choke himself and he killed himself.
I mean, it's gotta feel really good, right? To keep threatening your life. In order to jack off that way.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to point out before I forget. Speaking of jerking off,
before your mind is completely taken over by David Carradine jacking off.
No. They're going to the elevator, right? Because they found DNA on the wall. Yeah. And in the background, I don't know if you've seen this guy. There's a guy lighting a cigarette, but he doesn't look. He looks out of place. He looks like he was a producer that was running around the set, and he's like, he just did a bunch of cocaine behind the set, and he's walking and he's lighting a cigarette, and it's weird. He feels out of place for some reason. I think it's the jeans that he's wearing because everyone's kind of dressed up like everyone's kind of dressed up like late 80s, and he looks very like more modern than usual. But anyway, I felt like he was really weird. So.
Well, there is another lady who wears jeans walking by, and she also looks more modern. So I don't know. But that was a day where they're like, we ran out because they're shooting just the side. That's just the elevator. They're probably like, oh, we don't have the wardrobe for that day. Just have the PAs come in.
Yeah, Tim. He likes to smoke. Have him smoke on the camera. And it seems like
say the book said that they were wearing denim.
Yeah.
Near the elevators were a bunch of denimed people.
Yeah.
Bunch of denim-clad hoodlums surrounded the elevator entrance.
Yeah. What is it called? Is it a Canadian tuxedo? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I never heard of that term. Yeah.
Oh man, I've heard terms like that, but I don't know if Canadian tuxedo is the correct term for that particular ensemble.
I think when you're wearing all denim, it's called Canadian tuxedo. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Jeans with a denim jacket is a Canadian tuxedo.
There you go, dude. So Worf is like, oh, this turbo lift is not working. Fucking the doors won't open. And Data's like, just hit the fucking button, you idiot. And he hits the button and the elevator comes.
They were in a satellite where the doors didn't open automatically. So Worf and Data. So Worf should have been like, oh, it's one of these doors again.
Yeah. All these old timey doors where when you go inside, it's like
the elevator could have been playing that.
I know,
actually,
it probably was.
Yeah. So they go to the room and they open the door and there's someone on the bed and I'm like, oh, there's DNA in that fucking bed. But they get closer and they realize it's a dead body, right? And then they go to the closet and there's an astronaut suit with the American flag. And they realize like, oh, this was the American astronaut from the fucking thing that blew up. And they keep looking and they finally reach the Enterprise finally reaches them and they start talking to them. It's like, hey, we're down here. We haven't banged anybody. Sorry to communicate that zero fucking over here.
You know that's on Riker's mind.
Oh
yeah. He was just like,
look, everyone. Look, we know we talk a lot about boning, but this character's always thinking it, so we can't help it. He's always got it.
They've been to at least 2 sex planets, maybe 3.
Yeah.
You know,
and
I don't.
And he's always watching the video with the harp ladies. You know, this guy is a fucking pervert, dude. But you know what? We don't shame him. He's just a pervert, and good on him, dude.
Yeah, he just has quite the libido. As long as
there's consent, you could be as perverted as you want, my friend. You could be as perverted as Riker.
No one can stop you.
No one's going to stop you. Not Picard.
Stop you.
Not with he'll probably watch with Earl Grey tea. So they look in like all the drawers and they find a book. And it's the book that this whole fucking simulation is based off of. And they find an inscription like in a diary or a Bible or some sort of bullshit. And basically they find out that this was an astronaut that was shot down, probably accidentally, by these goddamn fucking aliens that are fucking trigger happy. Probably a Republican planet. And God damn it, dude. Ricardo, why can't you just go one episode without fucking... God damn it. So
they live in a stand your ground planet.
Yeah. So they shot this guy down and they felt bad because they killed everybody on the ship. They were really fucking trigger happy. And they just left this one dude. They're like, oh, fuck, we killed everybody. Turns out these people are fucking nice. And so they put him in this simulation to like make him happy. And since they scanned his ship, they found this book. And they're like, it's probably his Bible. We should make this paradise for him. And so they made this casino based off of this book because they thought like, oh, he probably loves living this. Like this is paradise for him. And it turns out this
ideal
guy hated it. He's like, I'm in hell. So I wait for the sweet relief of death.
Yeah. It's like,
wait, did you pull that clip?
No, I didn't pull the clip.
Dang it.
No.
Because I feel like reading that excerpt from the book is probably the most clippable bit of the episode.
Well, it's mainly his expression. Because Riker reads it like kind of happily, and then as soon as he turns the page, he goes, "I wish for the sweet release of death." And Riker goes, "Oh, okay."
What I really like is that after he says that, like Picard's just like, "I understand."
Yeah,
that's all he says in response. Like Riker delivers this huge punchline of a revelation because it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, he's like,
supposed to be funny.
I understand. I've lived with Wesley working next to me for all these years. I fucking hate it, dude. It's my own personal nom. So they read through and they figure out, oh fuck, this guy was living this hell, and we're stuck here. Mm-hmm. So they try to figure out how to get him out, and they can't, dude. Even Roman Polanski's like, I don't know how to get in there, dude. And they don't know how to beam him up, and it's just like
they're like, maybe we'll cut a hole through the atmosphere, but that'll freeze you guys instantly.
Yeah.
But then maybe we'll bring you back. I don't know. And then Picard goes, well, maybe we'll spend a few months just waiting, and we'll see.
Yeah. You guys just live down there for a couple months, figure out how are they supposed to eat. I don't get it.
I guess they get Royale food.
Well, I guess
someone did call about room service.
Yeah.
This feels like true. They did call service. And like they turned it into like a big joke as though like these idiots don't know what room service is.
Yeah.
They think it means cleaning the room. What idiots?
Yeah. They don't know it's hookers and cocaine.
This is almost a Groundhog Day setup.
Yeah. They could have done that.
It never looped, right? But you got the sense that it would loop once they got to a certain point.
Because they only have one book to go on, and they were clearly acting out the story like essentially from the beginning or some,
Why would the astronauts only bring one book?
I don't know, and why a shitty one?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they bring?
Maybe
like
they
Harry
had other
Potter?
ones, but they were destroyed by the alien.
I have a question for you guys.
Say
instead of the Hotel Royale, what they happen to have on on that ship was the Gideon's Bible.
Yeah.
That same Bible that you actually do find in hotels everywhere.
Oh.
And they tried to use that as the basis for their simulation.
I would kill myself
first
day. Kill myself.
I mean, the Bible sucks. You don't want to live the Bible.
Yeah,
the Bible's full of awful things.
It would also be much more expensive to produce as an episode.
yeah.
You're making Ben-Hur as an episode essentially.
The Passion
and
of
also
Christ.
the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
And these are awful experiences. You don't want to live through these.
You're basically making a bunch of shitty movies.
Well, I know. Like, if you play a Roman, you can have a bit of a
even then,
slow life.
Yeah,
you're a bad guy and
flaying some people.
Even if you're like the Jewish people and you escaped Israel, then you have to spend 50 years just wandering.
Yeah,
a desert?
But then you get to see awful. Moses part the Red Sea with his Beyblade.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Think about that.
Oh my God!
Look it up.
I hope people know why he said Beyblade.
Just look it up.
Because that's
Moses
canon.
Beyblade. That's all you need. You'll
canon.
See it.
Yeah,
it's canon.
I would not. I'd be like, no, I'm out. I'm gonna David Carradine myself. Is there a hotel in this?
No.
Oh man, that's what's gonna be called. It's gonna be called Carradining.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be like, hey, find me your best artist. I need you to draw me some boobs, and I'm gonna need a hotel and and a sturdy robe.
Oh boy,
man, we've taken it too far a couple of times, and by us I mean I apologize to no one. And so they realized okay, we got to figure out. They basically, again, a previous episode, they just had to agree to buy the fucking thing, and the whole thing shut down. So they should have remembered, okay, this is a fucking video game. Let's figure this out.
We had to beat the video game.
Yeah, basically beat the video game. And
what are the win conditions?
And then it turns into an episode of Reboot.
Yeah. So then Raul is again talking to the manager, and McDonald shows up. Ronald McDonald. he comes in a white fucking zoot suit.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, you've been fucking with Larita. Fuck you. It's just horrible acting, dude.
It's like, do you believe in magic, motherfucker?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Do you fucking know my friend the Grimace? I'm gonna send him after you, dude. And I'm a burglar. And
I got Mary McCheese in my pocket.
Yeah. I pay him off. And then fucking he shoots Raul, dude. He shoots him in cold blood, and he's like, fuck you. You're dead, dude. You don't fuck with me. And he shoots him in front of everybody. No one goes, oh my God, that man has a gun. They're like, oh, well.
I know.
It's 5 o'clock. I guess it's time for McDonald's to shoot this Raul guy.
Then Grimace comes in and takes the body away. Yeah.
And he puts the gun away, and he's like, fuck it, dude. And then
I told you there's no woman would die.
Yeah. McDonald's fucking just walks away, and they realize oh, I think we found a loophole. We gotta buy the casino, dude. Turns into Ocean's 11, dude. They gotta buy the casino, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to figure out how the thing ends, and they're like, yeah, that's how we do it. We gotta beat the fucking casino, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, where's Danny Ocean? And they're like, no, wrong fucking series, you idiot. And he's like, okay, where's Data? And so they get Data, and they're like, hey, we have to basically find a game and win a bunch of money, and then we'll beat it. All right. So they go to the craps table, and the Texan's there, and the Texan is a fucking pervert, dude. Yeah. He's trying to make this girl lose, so she'll have to stay in his room, and he could fuck her, dude.
That's awful.
He repeatedly grabs her ass, dude.
No, it sucks.
I don't like him, dude. He needs to be shot by McDonald's.
He's the skeeviest big Southerner guy we've seen so far.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I have to say that.
He looks like the guy that owns the Dallas Cowboys, and Bob Kraft, the guy who owns the fucking the Patriots. Just I imagine this is how they run their business.
Well, he looks like the Southern Texan from The Simpsons, who just goes
a little bit.
Yeah. So
wait, we also skipped by a part that I kind of like. It's when Picard and Deanna look up the ebook.
Oh yeah,
and try to start reading it. And Picard starts off with, "It was a dark, stormy night."
Well, you immediately start. Yeah.
Again, guys. Deanna Troi, get another fucking console. Don't read the goddamn book. What if I finish this page before you do?
That's true.
You find your own fucking Kindle book, dude. Let me fucking read my pace.
The funny part also is that they cut to them a little bit later, and they've stopped reading it. They've had it start playing out loud, reading out loud, because they're like, oh god, I don't want to read this
after
anymore.
That, they just start control Fing through it.
Yeah, we're just gonna play the audio.
Like, can you find a character that leaves? I found these for investors, but whatever.
The thing is, like, I hate when people are like reading, because I'm like, I'm reading at my pace. If you are done, you just fucking sit there and look at me like an idiot, dude. We're not reading this together, dude. Get the fuck away from me, dude. So then they start playing craps, and and Data knows how to play the game. And
which is not the game I would choose if I want to fix things.
Texas Hold'em, dude. Texas Hold'em
or blackjack.
Yeah, blackjack was spent way too early, because blackjack is supposed to be the game you can actually win with cunning and card counting and things like that.
And exactly, what blackjack could have been really great, because Data knows numbers, and he could literally, because I thought that's the bit they were going to do, because they talked about card counting.
Right.
Yes, they did.
And I'm like, oh man, they're gonna Ben Affleck the shit out of this dude.
Yes, but instead of winning through cunning, he wins by fixing the dice.
Yeah, he like, instead of letting the casino cheat, he cheats instead.
Yeah.
Do you know?
But he does it hilariously by just squeezing the dice in his hands, and that somehow makes it exactly what he needs it to be. Yeah, whatever.
Do you guys know how hard it is to count cards?
Well,
it's very hard.
It's very hard, but he's an android, so
this leads to a compliment that I'm going to give a famous actor. It's very hard to count cards, because there's a lot of math to keep track of and to remember while the cards are going.
Right.
So there's a lot of numbers that are coming out as you go, but there's a lot of numbers you got to keep track of in your head.
Right.
And Ben Affleck is banned from a few casinos in Vegas and in Atlantic City, because he's a notorious card counter, which is not illegal. It's not illegal to card count. It's just frowned upon.
Right, and they just prefer you never come back again.
They prefer you. They just be like, we prefer you don't gamble here again.
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas doesn't care for out of towners.
Especially ones called Benjamin Affleck. So anyway, they start playing craps, and Data notices that the die they're weighted differently. So clearly there's cheating going on. That's why these people keep losing. That's why the simulation doesn't work, or no one gets out. And so I don't know how he does it, but he does like the ET thing where he holds him in his hand, and Riker's like, "Can you fix it?" And he's like, "Sure." And he closes his hand, and he kind of like does the little jack off motion, and he ever so slightly, and then he blows on them, and he throws them, and he snaps his fingers, and boom, he's got 7s and 11s, dude.
Yeah, and for some reason, out of nowhere, he says, "Baby needs a new pair of shoes."
Yeah, baby
he's never heard that term before.
No. And they start winning, and they're betting everything on.
And this is the funnest scene in the episode 100%. Because it turned into a gambling montage. Yeah, that's just fun.
And then
with Data acting out of character for no reason.
Yeah. Which is Brent Spiner just letting loose.
I know. Yeah. The casino owner keeps the manager keeps bringing like bigger and bigger chips, because they keep winning, and the Texan keeps betting with Data.
Mm-hmm.
Until the end, where he basically says, "Oh, his luck's run out, so I'm going to bet against him now."
Mm-hmm.
And Data's like, "Don't do that. You're in for a world of pain, my friend. Don't do it." But the Texan does it anyway, and then he loses like an idiot, and he's like, "Oh, why is it? Because I wouldn't show you my car."
It's like a weird, I've been betrayed, even though he told him not to.
No, I told you, you fucking idiot. I told you you'd lose, you stupid fuck. And he didn't listen, so he lost everything. And fucking Riker's a baller, dude. He's handing out chips to the dealer. He's like, you go give the fucking valet some fucking chips. How does he know about valets?
I don't know.
Interesting. How does he know about people that park your car? He's never driven a car.
It's like maybe Riker.
Yeah. Well, maybe Riker has lived through some simulations in the holodeck.
Where he's
he did
Las
know
Vegas hookers.
He did know to go up to the front desk and be like, "Hello, we're checking in," or something like that. So maybe he's gone through a few
20th century Las Vegas hotel program.
He goes to New Orleans a lot, so maybe he's just like,
he's like, these are just like the whorehouses I go to in New Orleans.
Yeah, the entire crew of the Enterprise is obsessed with the 20th century, so we're fine.
Yeah,
just that century.
Yep. So then he's got the final roll, and he lets the girl blow on his die, if you know what I mean. And he wins, and they basically win all the money that the casino has. And they're like, all right, we'd like to cash out. And the casino manager's like, well, we can't. You broke the bank. Like we don't have enough to cover it. And he's basically like, all right, we'll just take the 12 million. And
like it has to be that guy, even though he's not technically the manager. He's just the guy that they have to talk to, because I guess they didn't write a manager.
Yeah.
And
so he basically says, we're gonna buy, which by the way, $12.5 million is cheap for a casino.
It is.
even for like a small Indian reservation casino, that's way too. Yeah. Like we're talking about like hundreds.
Keep in mind, this entire casino is just one room.
I guess so. This is like
$12.5 million room.
Yeah. And so he says,
we're only on the second floor.
We're gonna buy the casino, and then the rest of the money just split at chips. For everybody here. That's how baller they are. They're just fucking made fucking money rain, dude. They're like, we want some hookers here. We want strippers on the fucking tables. This is my casino now. Riker's like, this is now called a fuck casino. Everyone's getting fucked.
Which is like, this is supposed to be the end of the novel. And you're like, what? Yeah. Why would the novel? I guess this is why it's a bad novel. But like, wouldn't the novel end with like the Pyrrhic ending of whatever guy getting shot, and everyone's like, that's Royale Town, boys, or something.
And that's how you fucking eat a Royale with cheese. Dead.
Maybe it's like that, like 21 short films about Springfield, sort of a setup where it's it's just a bunch of vignettes inside this hotel Royale.
And then so they win the casino, and they're able to leave the casino now. They can walk out the doors, and then they get beamed up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, we did it, dude. And
we may never know what that was. It's just like that crazy theorem I mentioned once.
Yeah. And never brought up again.
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with this episode.
No. Nothing to do with the series.
Yeah. And basically he briefs him at the end, and he's like, well, what was that? And he's like, we'll never know. Who knows, dude?
We'll never know.
It's like, what the fuck?
The writers never bothered to write that into the thing.
And he's like, well, all's well that ends well, isn't it, Riker? And he's like, yeah. A little sad that I didn't get to fuck anybody down there. But other than that, I'm fine. Yeah. And he's like, all right, well, let's
get out of here. There's a legitimate intriguing question of like, how did this old ass US vessel make it this far out into space? And he's like, we don't fucking know.
We'll never know.
We don't know. Yeah.
Maybe the aliens brought them here, but we'll never know.
We shouldn't ask these questions, dude.
It's a market we can do without.
Yeah. Overall, this is a mediocre episode. Look, it didn't suck. It just wasn't good. I'm gonna give it if 5 is on the middle of the road, I'm gonna go with it wasn't bad, it just wasn't good, so I'm gonna go with a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Damn.
Primarily because I think if they spent more time on it, it could have been a good episode, because it's so slow. Like I spent the whole time just going like, go do the thing, but like you could have used all that extra time to have a B plot on the Enterprise. Maybe they meet like I said earlier, they meet the aliens. The aliens explain, instead of just a dumb diary entry that goes, I think this is what happened. And then, maybe the aliens go, oh my God, we didn't know. I thought he was having a great time.
What's interesting is that there was only one diary entry.
Yeah. Why wouldn't there be a lot? It just feels like not fully written. You know? What would you give it, Dan? You liked it. You kind of liked it.
I liked it more than you. Like,
it was a diary of a mad black woman. It was a Medea movie.
Well, since you guys are like so aggressively negative toward it, I just like I naturally counterbalance that. So yeah, of course, like I do agree it's mediocre, but there's enough like silly, goofy community theater like bullshit in it that I find it endearing enough to give it a 6.
Okay, I mean I agree. I agree with your version of it. I think I'm gonna we should figure out which episodes are community theater episodes from now on moving forward, because I think now they're really identifiable. Just go like, oh yeah, that's a community theater episode.
I mean, as soon as you see Geordi playing a lute, spoilers.
or any cast member playing any instrument.
True,
because that's going to happen a lot. Yeah. I love that about this series. They'll just have random episodes where fucking these guys are playing instruments together. And you're like, all right, that's fine.
Riker's a fine tromboner.
In fact, he actually knows how to play the trombone okay in real life.
Yeah.
So that's why they had him. Yeah. Exactly.
I feel clean.
Well, that was the Royale. It was okay, I guess.
It's funny that they call it the Royale. It's like, what's a famous book about a casino? Casino Royale. All right, we need our own version though.
Yeah,
it's about a casino.
That's why. Yeah, I think it's literally why.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why wasn't there a like a James Bond like character in this episode?
That's too hard a character to write because you have to then be charming, and then you're like, ugh. Yeah. I don't have time. I just need to get the Star Trek plot out of the way.
I had an impulse to say, and Daniel Craig wasn't born yet.
The hell was that? Well, anyway, that was another episode of Newbie Star Trek. I hope y'all liked it, everybody. If you've been enjoying it, maybe you could give us a review down at the old Apple Podcasts or at the Podcast Addict. But, only if you feel like it, that sort of thing. Also, if you have any questions for us and you want us to answer it on the podcast, you can send us a question at contact@newbiestartrek.com. We don't have a question this week, but maybe next week we will. A good one to read out. So again, that's contact@newbiestartrek.com. You can just email us there with your questions. Also, if you've been liking the stuff we're doing in general, maybe you want to check out some of our other podcasts. So we have another podcast called the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast, where we're discussing all sorts of movies and shows. I believe Ricardo is about to release an episode that's a retrospective on MCU Phase 1.
By a drunk person, by the way. It's not a series retrospective. Don't expect. It's basically a drunk friend shitting on them and me and another friend defending them. That'll be released on the 1st of August. And then on the 15th of August, we should have another commentary track. Our first one was the Super Mario Brothers. And we'll reveal the next movie soon. But that will be on the 15th. But the first will be Drunk Phase 1. Or I think the segment is, I think it's going to be ongoing segment called Drunk Film Reviews.
Yeah. Whenever she wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
She'll come back with a handle of wine.
Yeah. That's usually how I've dealt with this friend of ours, where I've been like, because I've hung out with her when she's really drunk and been like, what do you think of this movie? And then she'll give me her version of it, which I was like, woof, that was never understood Star Wars until I heard it from your drunk fucking mouth. And then I'm like, all right, I can live with that. And then that's when I was like, maybe we should talk about Marvel.
Yeah. So that's the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast. And then also we have our YouTube channel, Fugitive Games, where we're right now going through
games.
It's about games. We're going up Let's Plays of Arkham Origins, and we've just finished up Phoenix Wright Justice for All at the moment, but not have gone into our next game yet, which we're not going to talk about yet. But we are going to continue playing. I think we're going to continue playing AI the Somnium Files, and
I'm 2 streams into that.
Yeah,
and it's it's a fun little time. Like, mysteries are building and unraveling. Mostly building right now.
And also, I'm going to get back into Mass Effect Remastered, or I should say Legendary Edition, once I get a chance to some time on a Friday to finally get back into it, because I haven't even beaten 1 yet, and I've never beaten 2, nor much less touched 3. So I'm kind of interested to see how I feel about Mass Effect 2.
Actually, I just realized something. I'm just going to say right here that I reserve the right to cancel any number of streams to pivot immediately to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is releasing, I believe, on the 27th of July. So
yes, with our good friend Herlock Sholmes.
Yes, Herlock Sholmes will played by Teda in the Doloheck.
Played by Tada.
Played by Tada and the Dalohek. Herlock Sholmes himself.
I like the idea of a Dalohek.
It's a Dalohek. Just a big Dalohek.
Yeah. But you can find all of that at fugitiveframes.com. It's just one link that takes you to all of that stuff if you want to take a look. And then next time, we're going to watch Time Squared, which is kind of a time travel-y episode. If I remember correctly, this is one where they keep finding Picard, like a duplicate version. So that'll be fun. But yeah.
I love time travel-y bullshit, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the episode very well, but that has potential. It's season 2, so that has potential to be really fun and cool or horrible and awful. So we'll see. But we'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, everybody, and see you in a week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I'll say goodbye.